Welcome to Stories of the Soul radio show. I am your host, Yolanda Thomas, also known as YT. And as somebody just gave me a new name, he always giving me nicknames, is OGYT. So I'll accept any one of those. Today is August the 14th, 2022. Today we have some hot topics going on, and I'm going to take my time and I'm going to dive into this. I want you guys to go ahead and make comments in the chat. I want you to be candid as possible. And, I'm going to give you an opportunity to go get you some tea, some coffee, some wine, or some popcorn, whatever your choice is, because this is going to be a good one on today. Tune in 24/7 to Believe Radio Show, Bay Area. No longer do you have to wait for Sundays to listen to music to be inspired, encouraged, and uplifted. Each one of our shows that we have on Believe Radio is for that purpose and that purpose only. So we're going to just talk about it. We are going to talk about it. So, for those of you who know who Beyonce is, she is an artist, she's a wife, and she's a mother of four beautiful children. She have one set of twins, um, and a girl and a boy. I think. I think. If I'm wrong, correct me. So there was a video that I saw yesterday. I believe that he might have made these comments last week. And my topic is Beyonce going to hell? And we're going to talk about it. But before I dive into what I have to say and I get your opinions, I want to play a clip of the video that I saw. I don't know if you had an opportunity to see it yourself, but I want to just go ahead and play it. And, like I said, be honest, give me your thoughts and how you feel about it. Let's see, I'm not the most. Oh, okay, here
I
we
want to
go.
preach to you elders. I want to preach to you superintendents, pastors, and leaders. We're called to speak up. We're called to say something. Beyonce just released Sacrilege. The only thing I can account for some of this stuff is somebody done sold their soul to the devil. Now, all I can say to you is this. When you sell your soul to the devil, you get the short end of the stick. Because you would.
All right. I don't know how many of you saw that or heard that rather. And the first thing that came to my mind when I heard it, I just was in awe because as pastors, as leaders, you know, there's a charge to keep. And that charge is to spread the gospel, to spread the agenda of God and not of necessarily our own personal beliefs. We have to be careful what we put out there. You have such a large platform. You can have people thinking this lady is the devil and she's a devil worshiper. And we have to be careful on what we say. I listened to the lyrics and he could have picked anything from within those lyrics, but he chose to say that. The first thing that came to my mind that I learned as a young girl was Romans 3:23. And it reads, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God." It doesn't say some, it doesn't say many, but it says all. That's number 1. The second thing that came to my mind was Matthew chapter 7. Judge not that ye be not judged. And actually, it goes on to say a little more. I want to read a little bit more of what it says. I have to be honest. I was raised in the church. I was raised as a Christian, and I was taught that to be a Christian means to be Christ-like. It doesn't say that you're perfect and that you're going to be perfect. It says that for all have sinned, which means that none of us are blameless from sin. And to make a comment to say that Beyonce has sold her soul to the devil, as a woman, as a black woman, I am totally offended. I never heard anybody say Marilyn Monroe sold her soul to the devil. We know the history of her. If you don't know, go online because this topic is not about her. But these are the things that came to my mind. So, because a woman is successful, that means that she sold her soul to the devil. Well, I have news for you. God didn't design for us to be poor. That's not the order. It's nothing wrong with being successful, and just because you are successful doesn't mean you sold your soul to the devil. But let's let's talk about that. What does selling your soul to the devil mean? If you're listening and you can put it in the chat for me, I want you to tell me what is your opinion of what it means to sell your soul to the devil. And I want you to because you can look at it on your phone if you have your Bible. I want you to look at Matthew 4 and 8. Okay. So I think that's where this whole analogy came from, where people are saying, oh, you sold your soul to the devil. So the definition is a trade off before an individual and the devil. So basically, the devil gives you wealth and status in the social world, and you bow and you call him Lord. Plus you do evil things. You do hate, you lie, you have sex unmarried, you push hate, etc. Well, I have a question for you. Me, no disrespect to Pastor or Bishop Wooten at all, or anybody who may feel like, oh, she sold her soul. But I'm curious because I don't know the history of this pastor. But my question is he married? Does he have children? Did he have children out of wedlock? Has he ever thought a bad thought? Has he ever misused any money in the church, or any type of thing that is not of God? Because what I just read in Romans 3:23, it says, "For all have sinned and come short of the glory of God," which means all of us do. Now, Beyonce is talented. I began off earlier by saying she's a mother, she's a wife, she's an artist. She's a humanitarian. She gives back. I haven't really heard any scandal from Beyonce, and I've been a fan for years. Is it because you haven't heard any scandal? And she's doing a lot of. This is a married woman. Who you think, or where do you think she got her talent from? Who are we to judge and say that she sold her soul to the devil? That is her relationship between her and her God. That's I'm just disappointed. I'm very disappointed. There's different types of religion. You have the Baptists, you have the Methodists, you have all these different types of religion. And sometimes we can hurt our own selves if we don't push the right agenda. I want you to listen to the full clip. So he said, someone sold their soul to the devil. Then he says, it's the worst ever. Hmm. What is the worst ever? I'm trying to figure out what part of these lyrics is considered the worst ever. I'm going to read to you some of the lyrics that I gathered. Get your math up. I'm going to back it up. Back it up. I'm going to bust it, acting up. I see them gray sweats. I see a blank check. I'm finally on the other side. I finally found the urge to smile. Swimming through the oceans of tears we cried. You know you got church in the morning, but you're doing God's work. You're going in. She ain't trying to hurt nobody. She is trying to do the best she can, happy on her own with her friends without a man. That's the worst ever. I know a lot of lyrics that's considered can be considered the worst ever. Why does it seem like there's always an attack on our black women? As a matter of fact, I watched probably 89% of the Tyler Perry movies. You know, Sisters happen to be one of my favorite ones, and then there's some other ones, and they have different things on there. They have homosexuality. They have a lot of different things on there. I haven't heard anybody say he sold his soul to the devil. How can you constitute saying that this woman, as far as I know, as far as I remember, Beyonce grew up in the church. That's how she started singing. John 3:16. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. It doesn't say some, many, or it says whosoever. So who are we to judge this woman? I went on YouTube before I came here, and I seen a lot of people say, "Oh, he's speaking the truth. She's such this bad person." Well, and we shouldn't let our kids listen to it. Well, there's a lot of stuff kids shouldn't be listening to. There's a lot of things that has gone on, within the church. We have to be careful of the things that we're putting out there in the universe. Seriously, I mean, I like I said, I have been raised in the church ever since I can remember, and there's some things that I've learned since then that some stuff is not biblically based. It was more based on, um, you know, certain beliefs, but they weren't biblical. So I, study the word. I learn from myself. I do my own research. So I know that there's a God. You have some people who don't even believe in God, but it's not my place to judge them and say where they're going. At any moment, at any moment, let's say you have somebody who commits a horrific sin, like murdering somebody, like killing somebody, or like molesting somebody, stabbing somebody, or whatever the sin may be. If that individual asks God for forgiveness, I hate to tell y'all this, and they really mean it, and they have accepted, that they will be accepted into the kingdom. See, we so quick to condemn others. Rarely do we look in the mirror at our own actions. So I want to dive a little bit more into where this came from of selling your soul to the devil. So this is the temptation of Jesus. Then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted by the devil. And after fasting 40 days and 40 nights, he was hungry. And the tempter came and said to him, if you're the Son of God, command these stones to become loaves of bread. But he answered, it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. Then the devil took him to the holy city and set him on the pinnacle of the temple and said to him, if you are the Son of God, throw yourself down, for it is written, he will command his angels concerning you. This is the temptation of Jesus. So the devil tempted Jesus as well. I understand Everybody don't listen to secular music. If that doesn't float your boat, then it doesn't float your boat. I can remember, I think it was probably last year, me and my youngest son was on our way to, I think we was on our way to the grocery store. And I was listening to, I forgot, it was a rap song. And my son didn't like that song. Now, this is my car, and he said to me, he was like, Mom, can you change that song? Now, at first, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, I like that song. It's my car, but it offended him by the lyrics and what they were saying. So guess what I did? I went on and I changed the song, and I listened to something else. It wasn't that big of a deal. So if you don't like something that somebody is singing or what somebody's doing, to me, I don't know, you could just clearly not listen to the song. If you have children, if you have grandchildren, if you have nieces and nephews, if you don't want them listening to secular music or the rap music or whatever type of music it is that any entertainer may be singing, then don't listen to it. I'm thinking about all the songs I love music. I like all types of music. I don't just like gospel music. I like R&B. I like hip hop. I like a lot of different music. Does that mean I've sold my soul to the devil? Absolutely not. There's a song by DJ Quick for those of you who are not self righteous, and for those of you who are old school. I think y'all know the song. So and so better have my money. I like that song. It's entertaining. I like the beat to it. That doesn't mean that I'm worshiping the devil. I just like the song. It's entertaining. I really enjoy music, all types of music. Now I will say the old school music, it makes you feel good. It's a different vibe. Some of the new music we have now, I don't care for it. So guess what? I don't listen to it. I turn it off. But I don't get on a platform and talk about the artist, put the artist down. Some of them are singing their truth and what they've been through. We can't relate to it because we haven't been there. I would like to know, what is it about that song that upset him so much that he felt like he had to do a whole sermon about it. I always perceived and thought that the pulpit is to be used to push God's agenda and not our own personal biases. Because sometimes we can have some biases and personal beliefs that isn't of God. I went on Facebook and I've saw some pros and cons. I've seen somebody made a comment about another song that she did. I haven't seen that song where she's talking about um you know having sex of that nature, something that pastors do, ministers do, Christians do. Where do you think that came from? I remember as a young girl, somebody said, "Oh, if you're not trying to have a baby, you're not supposed to have sex." Well, there's some women who probably can't produce or have a baby, or you may have some men who may not, can do that, or you may not be bearing age anymore. That doesn't mean that you have just sold to the devil. There's things that I struggle with. There's things that you struggle with. It is my honest belief that we are all in this together. We all want the same thing. We want to live a happy life, a joyous life, a prosperous life. I've even heard people before Beyonce even made this song just hate on her. She don't know how to sing. She doing something right. But just because you have abundance, because I in my mind I'm thinking of a few people that's a billionaire, who a millionaire, who's wealthy, who's rich. In my mind, it's kind of questionable. But what does selling your soul really mean? Do he really feel like Beyonce just woke up and said, okay, I'm about to just sell my soul to the devil so that I can have all these accolades and kudos and money? I don't believe that. Now, are there some people who have sold their soul to the devil? Oh, absolutely. It happens. That's just the way it is. Even still, we don't know what's in that person's heart. And if a person has sold their soul to the devil, they have the opportunity to change. This is what I was taught coming up. See, I don't make it a habit to judge people, condemn people, and hate on people. That's just not who I am. And even this pastor, I'm disappointed, but it's not my job to judge him. He's entitled to his opinion. He has his reasons why he feel that way. But that's something that he will have to deal with between him and his God. He will have to convict him. I don't know if Beyonce has saw it, if she will address it. I wouldn't. And I also want to say that recently I saw where she made a song, and I forgot the term, but it's a term where I guess it's considered being negative towards people with disabilities. When Beyonce found out that it offended them, guess what? She said that she was going to take that lyric off her song. That doesn't sound like somebody who sold their soul to the devil to me, because she could have just said, I don't care. It's making me money. I forgot what the term was, but I hadn't even heard the term before. And a couple of people who said they've used it, it is not meant for the use for putting anybody with a disability down or anything of that nature. It's more like a slang word. So I say to you, let's all, including me, work on the things that we say, that we put out there on social media. I rarely go on social media anymore. It's so much negativity. Everybody has an opinion. And we live in the United States of America, so we have free will to say what we want to say. But me as a minister, me as a chaplain, I have a charge to keep. I do. My words, my actions, they're not the same. I let so much go because I look at the bigger picture. I don't have the time. I just desire to have peace in my life. Now, when it warrants me to say something, I will. But it's not my job to tell somebody what they should or shouldn't be doing, and telling somebody they're sacrilegious or they sold to the devil. That's that's very offensive to me as a woman, because she's successful. Beyonce, she's beautiful. And I wore yellow today in honor of her. And if you know, you know. Yes, I did. Out of all the things that he could have talked about and addressed, those words stuck in my mind. So if she was poor, would those words still have been the same? I just don't get it. Maybe you guys can help me understand this, because I'm not understanding. Social media has its pros and cons. It can be used to reach masses of people. It can be used for a good platform, for a positive platform. In the mornings or when I'm driving, I rarely turn on the radio. I'm listening to different platforms. I listen to Reverend Ike. A lot of his old teachings, very powerful, very, very positive. I listen to Mark I can't pronounce his last name. Hunton, Haughton. I listened to him. I find things that produce tools that can help me in my life. I surround myself around people that's going to help take me to the next level, who's been there, who's done that. I listen into Pedro. I listen to things that will help me walk in wisdom. I despise negativity. I despise gossiping and putting people down, especially women, because for one, I'm a woman. It seemed like, you know, in America, we have it the hardest. You know, we're disrespected to the highest level. And I feel like our men, our black men should be our protectors. If he felt that strongly about her lyrics, it is my belief there could have been a conversation about it. But yet you want to condemn her? Do you know what kind of damage this can possibly do to her? Having people thinking she's the devil? That's not your call. Anyway, I didn't know I was going to get so emotional about it. But being a woman, being a black woman in America, it's like we're always having to fight for everything. You know, we should be protected, respected. So, for those of you who do respect women in general, it's not just black women, but the reason why I'm saying black women because of the disrespect, how we talk to, how we treat it. And out of all the things that, Pastor Wooten could have preached about of her song was to say she done sold her soul to the devil. I'm curious to know why you was listening to it in the first place. Just curious. Anyway, thank you for tuning in. I think that I've gotten my point across of what I wanted to say. If you ever want to be a guest on my show, you can go ahead and email me at yolanda.thomas76@gmail.com. And you can be a guest on my show. I have some good information that I plan on sharing with you guys that's going to be coming up. Talk a little bit about what I did over the weekend. So I want to give a big shout out to my daughter, Danielle Sierra Reed. I lost her. We lost her August 13th, 2000. And I had an opportunity, me and my youngest son, and we would put flowers on her grave. And although I know she's not there, it just feels good to go out there. I feel at peace. I feel that serenity. I just want to give a shout out to anybody who's lost a child. You never really get over that. You learn to just kind of cope and deal with it. Yeah. Stories of the Soul radio show. This is a platform. This is a place where we talk about everything. We dive into it. I am last weekend in the weekend before that I was part of the BAVC. I met some wonderful people. We got some projects that I'm going to be pushing out. If you follow me on Facebook, I posted one of the projects that we're doing, and it's talking about mental wellness. So look at it. I'm hoping to finish mine and get it pushed out this week. And I got some other projects that I'm going to be working on. So stay tuned. I will be reaching out to some of you individually. I do have some projects that's going to be coming up. I have a short film that I'm going to be working on, and I thank God and I'm grateful that I'm going to be able to have hands on. The thing about doing film, that there's different components, there's different parts of it, and my specialty obviously is not sound. But I haven't taken the lighting part of it yet, so I have to still take lighting and then have to still take something else. So just be on the lookout for that. And I want to just give a shout out to Beyonce, and I want to tell you to just keep doing you. You are supported. You are loved. Black women, you are supported. You are loved. Love on yourself because I truly love myself. I want to thank you for tuning in 24/7 Believe Radio. This is YT. I'm too emotional. I can't go on. This is YT over and out.